So the stick that he's holding is called an agitator stick. We're not hitting your dog or anything, it just makes loud noises. Just stay posted there. Oh. Slip right off.
I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Your old squad shitty, my bros raw. No breaks, we go, 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 go. Throw shade, that's a no, no, no. Go high, go low, low, low. Like spinning in a 644. Cash money like 504. Ball like AD24. No sleep, need more, more, more. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Alright guys, so we have a client come in for testing to see if her dog can be a protection dog. So what we're doing now is we're testing the dog's courage and we're testing the dog's defense. Will the dog stay and defend the owner? And we're not talking about biting, but stay at least and bark at the decoy. So we're going to test the dog here. The client is assured that she feels confident that her dog is going to stay and not flight, and she's going to fight. So we're going to test the dog. You never know until the dog is put into the scenario. So I am behind a blinder, and what I'm going to do is going to come out and I'm going to slowly agitate the dog. I have on a face mask, glasses, and a hat, so I can conceal my whole face. As I walk up, you can see the dog slowly starts to pull back. She's trying to fight and get away from me. This is something that is normal when you're testing a dog to do protection work. So when you're testing dogs to do protection work, you want to test that fight drive. You want to see where they are. Are they going to flee or flight or run away from the decoy? Because if they are, they're not going to do protection work. They're not going to bite. Now, also with this, it is imperative that the decoy is able to try and build on the dog's confidence. This is going to be a 5-minute training video. We're going to break the dog down and build it right back up. Because we don't want sketchy, skittish dogs doing protection work. We only want confident, balanced dogs. This is why it's important to know our line, where we bought our dogs from, and are the parents capable of doing the work? Because if not, we're just going to build a nervous wreck, a dog. So we want to test them before we actually try to train them. If they cannot pass the initial testing phase of protection work, then we're not going to train the dogs in that. So again, as I close in distance, I'm adding pressure to the dog. I'm putting her in a fight or flight mode. She's got two options. She can stand with her owner and fight, or she could flight and run away from and leave her owner by herself. That's what fight or flight means. So as I get closer, she is trying to get out of the scenario. She's in avoidance. She's looking away from me. She doesn't want to focus on me. She wants me to go away. So I start to back up a long distance to take that pressure off, okay? Again, this is important. Details matter when you're doing protection dogs. You have to know what you're doing to a dog and why you're doing it and how to read the dog's body language. As I come in, she starts to pull. She's turning her body, and I'm hitting the stick to get her attention, and she's pulling away from the owner. You see, she's like, get me out of here. I do not want to be here. And I'm actually doing absolutely nothing. I'm just closing in on her, closing that safety gap, and just getting close to her to see what she'll do, right? So as I kind of like dump forward, she goes back, In a minute, I'm gonna fix this. So no worries, I'll have her lunging out in a second. It's an easy fix if you know how to read dogs' body language. So I'm purposely showing the owner her and her situation as we speak. So the owner understands that she's not pure protection, that she's gonna need a lot of training if she decides to do protection work. And it's not something that's just easy to do, but it is difficult if you don't know what you're doing. And sometimes some dogs should never do protection work. So you want to expose those type of dogs. That way you're not training the wrong dogs to be bite dogs and then they're biting children and people. So again, that is what we're doing here, is we're challenging the dog in protection. We're testing the dog for the owner to show the owner if her dog has it or not. Now in this video, in this portion of the video, I am going to build her courage, and I'm going to do it real fast. And if you're paying attention, you'll see exactly what I did. If you're not, you won't.
Be vocal about your good girl. Be a little bit more vocal, high pitch.
A little bit louder.
She needs to be able to hear you past her barking.
So now, if you had paid attention and you watched what I did, and if you didn't see it, that's why you have to come to us for me to train your dog. But if you did see it, then you might be able to do it with your dog. Anyways, if you paid attention, now you see that her confidence level is a lot better. She is more imposed to doing the work. She's standing her ground. She's not trying to get out of the situation, and she's barking. She's being defensive. Okay, this is called defensive protection work. She's staying with her handler and she's barking at the stranger. Instead of running from the stranger, she's barking. And if you can tell just by the movement, this is what we call prey drive. You can see her tail's wagging, so she's arousing excitement. Before her tail was cuffed between her butt. Now it's wagging fast, back and forth. My hand is raised. She's up on her owner. She's not running away. And if you watch real closely what I do, instead of her running from me, she's gonna run at me. So just pay attention. There you go. So instead of her running from me, I got her lunging forward towards me, okay? We always want the dogs forward. We don't want them back. Even she surprised our owner how she started lunging forward, okay? So being able to understand dogs' body language and how to entice them and how to push them into fight drive is very important. It's a psychological thing. It has nothing to do with scaring a dog into fighting. It's all psychological. Not once have I done anything to scare her. All I'm doing is building her drive. So this is what a protection consultation looks like. Some dogs excel in the beginning, some take a little time, and some fail. Not all dogs pass this level. So we definitely want to know if we're dealing with skittish dogs, fearful dogs, scary dogs, overconfident dogs, over-aggressive dogs, and dogs with no drive. So we need to know where we are before we take on a dog and start training a dog. We need to know that we have a dog that we can train to do that work. Thank you guys for watching Madison Bell. I'm Rodriguez Carter.
Can I stop recording?